What's up, everybody? I'm here with comedian Monty Hicks. He
What up? What up?
is. What up? What up? This is the distracted spectrum. And what that means is I have ADHD and autism, so you never know what you're going to get on this show because my brain is constantly at war with itself. You got one side that wants to interview comedians and athletes and all this stuff, and then you have the historian side of the head who's doing all the boring stuff. And so just pay attention and you never know. You might get Tony Delk, you might get the son of Sting, you might get Monty Hicks or the professor of archaeology somewhere in England. Who knows? So, but today we are here for the laughs, we are here for the fun. We're gonna make fun of stuff and people and sports and wrestlers and everything in between. So, this
What
is
a
the roast of the world.
what an
Monty
intro!
Hicks.
What an intro! That lasted for a long time, but that's cool. That's cool as hell.
Well, it's because I don't have an intro built yet, so I just kind of
You
have to
just
wing
gotta.
one every
There
time.
you go. Just wing it.
Now, I've seen this dude with Steve-O. I've seen him with Gary Coleman. I've I've seen this dude with some guys here. So, wait, not Gary Coleman. What's that name?
Kevin
Gary
Hart.
Coleman's Good Strokes. Kevin Hart, but the redhead, Gary
Oh, Gary Owens.
Owens,
Yeah,
Owens, not the Different Strokes guy.
that's hilarious.
So, yeah, so everybody, welcome Monty to the show.
What up? What up? Thank you
And
for having
he
me.
is a Nashville, right?
Yep, in Nashville, Tennessee.
And what is the name of your YouTube show? Isn't it?
Okay, just look up
It's
on
something
YouTube
funny.
Monty Hicks. No, just look up Monty Hicks, and I got a couple different shows on there with a couple different people. So you just gotta look up my name and catch it all. So by all means, I'll give you a link later to look up everything. But yeah, that's it.
Very cool. Very cool. And how's the stand-up game in Nashville treating you? I know Nashville can be a brutal city. Um, I have friends that live there, and the struggle in that city can be real. It's not the cheapest place to live, and
Nah.
doing anything like a stand-up comedian, y'all, his info is gonna be in the stuff. Follow him. It ain't easy out here. It ain't
Yeah,
easy.
it is fun. It is fun. My thing is, I was always a fan of comedy, and I've always
Yeah.
followed the local comedians. Once I found out there's a local scene, every bar, every club they went to, I was there. So as of talking to him after the show, they was like, "Oh my God, you're funny. Why don't you try stand up?" And I before then, I was just always, like I said, a fan. I'll go back to my parents had Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby records, the records that we used to play. So
You didn't
why?
ever try any of Cosby's barbecue sauce, did
Nah,
you?
nah, that's hilarious. But yeah, I just always been a fan, and the next thing I know, I said, "All right, try it." Now, the next thing I know, I was like Eminem in 8 Mile. Before he went up, he choked. He threw up in the bathroom. Mom's spaghetti was everywhere. So I was like, "Yeah, that was me, man." I was nervous and throwing up shit before I hit the stage. They give you 5 minutes to do comedy. I did it within three because I was just so nervous. But now, after a while, it's
Was it
like,
kind of like
okay,
a Kill Tony setting where it's like, all right, give us your best,
it's
five, kind
yeah,
of like that?
it's sort of like that a little bit. It's just, yeah, they give you 5 minutes and that's it. And so you just got to rock with it. And so once I rock with it, I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is now my new drug. So you feel like you got to do better and better
Yeah,
every time you do it.
it's a
So yeah.
dopamine hit. When you get
Oh
those
yeah.
reactions, it's a dopamine hit.
Yeah,
Um,
to make a crowd laugh, it's a powerful thing. Yeah, you can make
yes,
a friend laugh, or you can make a one person laugh, but to do a whole crowd of people, that's impossible sometimes. But when it happens, it's great. It's great.
yeah.
You'll love it.
And I've often thought, I've had people tell me to do it, um, and pretty used to speaking in front of people because, funnily, even though I am kind of all out on religion, like as
Yeah,
far as personally, I'm like, I don't know about all of that stuff. But I was a pastor forever,
Oh, really?
which is quite the interesting swing. Um, but I found, even as a pastor, like the older I got, the less intense, the less zealous, the less all of that you get. I found I enjoyed making people laugh more than anything else.
Oh, there you go.
Um, and so like, as for instance, all these churches, they want to talk about, you got to be straight, you can't watch pornography, no lust, pluck your eyeballs out. But they got
You gotta watch your porn, huh?
They got Eve looking like Kim Kardashian, covered in little leaves on the nursery wall. What the heck? What are we going to do? What we supposed to look at that and think?
That's hilarious.
For the girls, you got this dark skinned, tall, muscular man covered with just a leaf standing in a garden by a tree and a naked lady. It's like, you really don't want us to look at porn? Why are you throwing that on the wall? That's the first thing we're going to look up.
Oh my God, you got horny at a young age, huh?
I mean, I'm sure the first word every male ever typed into the internet was boobies.
Oh yeah,
Especially when it first came out. It's like, when that ding ding.
that's hilarious.
That's every 12-year-old. That's the first word that went into the search bar.
Yeah,
And
back then it was Yahoo and AOL.
AOL, you had to have those CDs.
Yeah,
Remember they sent out those 500-hour, those
yeah.
50-hour internet
Oh yeah.
CDs you had to put in and run. Kids today, they don't know.
The
They don't
heartache,
know.
the troubles.
They didn't play Pong.
Man, I was just talking about that. I love video games, but it's so crazy that we grew up on Pong and Pac-Man.
Yeah.
But nowadays
Donkey Kong.
everything is
Donkey
all
Kong arcade.
yeah, everything is all 3D and all, man, it's just realistic looking graphics. It's just crazy. But then you hear
Crazy.
the kids complain about how not perfect it is and how a water puddle doesn't look right. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what we played with was two sticks and a ball. And that was
Exactly.
it. And
That was
yeah,
that was it. There was
we
nothing
had the
else.
Atari 2600 with a joystick and one button.
What the red button?
Yeah.
You just spam that red button like crazy. And then you had the space game. You could go left to right and you could shoot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember that one? Was it Galaxy Raiders or something like that? But like, you literally could go left, right, and you shot at random stuff coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
Um, and that was it. There
Yeah.
was
Good old
block.
Gallagher.
Yeah. To see, I mean, to see where we've jumped to. Where like we're recording a podcast. You're in Nashville. I'm in Virginia Beach. We're on touch screen devices. We have all this stuff behind us. Like the stuff on our phone is more advanced than any of the biggest computers in the world back then. In just in our lifetime,
Yeah.
it's jumped that far.
It'd be
Can
crazy
you
to see what it's
imagine?
gonna be like in another
Oh,
50 years.
when my kids, that are like, 16, 10, and 6, when they're 60, um, well, I mean, when they're 40, 50, who knows what it's going to be like? It's going to be
Yeah.
crazy. We'll probably be on Mars by then. Or at least we hope Elon is.
Yeah. Somebody.
Just send him. Just send him by himself.
That's hilarious.
I bet you could convince Donald Trump to go with him if you said he can have Mars. If you give Donald Mars, I bet he would go. Just to say he's the ruler of Mars. It doesn't even matter how many people's there. If it's Donald and Elon, they are going to be perfectly happy ruling a whole planet to themselves.
No, you gotta have a female for Donald Trump up there so you can grab somebody's
Ah,
stuff.
it's Stormy will take the money. Melena ain't going, but Stormy will go.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Have you ever? I mean, do you know anyone in your life that has 34 felonies and is not in jail?
Uh, they're black. Yeah.
OJ is the only bone y'all were ever thrown.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and here's the thing: everybody knew OJ was so guilty that even when he got found not guilty, all the black people cheered that day because it felt like retribution for Don King. But the moment that man stepped back out on the street, he was by himself because everybody knew he was guilty.
Yeah, you mean Rodney King, but yeah, same difference.
Rodney King, yeah. Don was the promoter.
Yeah,
Rodney King, yeah. It's like
but
I
yeah,
remember David Chappelle going first time he met OJ. He was like everybody was nervous, and it was right after Dave Chappelle vanished, and
Yeah.
like everybody believed he was on crack, and he was with Chris Tucker, who had vanished. Like seeing Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker together at that point would be like running up on Jesus and the disciples. Like, and OJ walks up, and neither one of them would take a picture with him.
that's
And as soon as
hilarious.
he walked away, they looked at each other and was like, "He did that mess."
Yeah, that's
Man,
hilarious.
the late OJ. There's not a more polite, nice, kind, likable serial killer on the entire planet
That's
than
likable
OJ
serial.
Simpson.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's true though. Like you watch him on Twitter before he went, bro. Like he was the master of words, so likable. Felt like the loving uncle who would kill you in your sleep.
But the crazy thing about it is, if you ever been in a toxic relationship, you almost know. Okay, I can see it. It's like, yeah, I see it happening.
I could see. Yeah, I know how you get. Especially if she has another man living in your house
Oh yeah.
with your kids. You just had a kid drowned. Like, I mean, his daughter literally had just died
Yeah.
when that happened. And so, dude's already in a mentally, kind of crazy place, right?
Oh yeah.
And then that, yeah, I mean, I'm not giving OJ the pass, but I see it. Like,
Yeah.
I know how a man can snap like that.
I hear
And
you.
OJ's not one that that's a bad man. You saw what he did to people in the NFL.
And here's what's crazy. Yes, I think he was a great NFL player, but he wasn't the baddest out there.
No,
So,
no.
of
But he
course,
was a
yeah.
bad man.
He was good, but I'm like, man, the stats for so many other people were so much higher. So I was like, all right, cool.
He
'Cause
wasn't the GOAT by any means.
Because he was slightly before my era of watching football.
Me too.
Because
He was a broadcaster when I started watching.
there you go. So yeah, so I was a fan, but I was like, okay, I've just seen highlight reels, so I guess he was great.
Kind of like Wilt Chamberlain. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he wasn't playing when I watched. You watch YouTube clips. You see stories and stat lines, but it's like, yeah, but also it's the '60s. He was a
Yeah.
foot taller, and 90% of the league was white. What's he supposed to do?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, of course he scored 100 points of the game. He was the only black guy on the floor.
That's hilarious.
So, how has your shows been going? Anything crazy been happening? Any funny moments that
I finally opened up for a band of mine that I really like. There's a band that plays in Nashville called Spasmatics. And basically, they're an 80s cover band, more or less, and which are very good. I really appreciate them. I see them every Sunday. They play between 4 and 7 o'clock.
like '80s metal or '80s hip hop? It's Nashville, '80s country.
No, hell no. That's most people in Nashville hate country.
Yeah, it's true. If you see a white girl and listen, if you're not from America or Nashville, if you see a white girl in Nashville in cowboy boots and a miniskirt, she is
she
not a cowgirl.
she's not. She doesn't live in Nashville.
She doesn't live there. She's not the type you want to mess with.
Yeah,
Go, leave it alone. Leave it alone, gentlemen. She is the white Kardashian. Just go
that's
on.
hilarious. But yeah, I finally opened up for them, which they're cool. So they kind of gave me the floor for about 5 minutes before the show started last week, which is cool. I mean, I love it because I did a comedy show that day between 1 and 3, and they show started at 4. So I was like, all right, did comedy before, still in my comedy mind frame, and I went to go do their show. So it was awesome. So I had a good time. Good time. They want me to come back every Sunday, so I'm like, all right,
Okay.
well, here we go.
Be like, can you give me 15 minutes?
No, I'm
Five's
good.
fine.
I'm good with 5 to 7 before they start, because I don't want to wear out the stage too much, and then I don't want to do the
Yeah.
same jokes over and over again. So I figured 5 to 7 minutes would be perfect and it'd be ideal. So there
Yeah.
you go.
I mean, it is hard to have. I mean, even as a pastor, like I understand that part of stand up.
Yeah,
You'd have 6 pages of notes, and 15 minutes in, you're through, and you're like, uh oh, you know what I mean? And so it is hard to. How long does it take for you to develop a set? So like,
depends on how
say
long
you're
that set
doing
is.
50,
Yeah,
you're doing an hour. Um, you're doing an
well,
hour at a comedy club
I've yet to do an
somewhere.
hour. I can say
Okay.
I have solid 15 and 20 minutes, but then for me to start over and do another 15 to 20, I could probably do it maybe every 3 months. So I always, as far as what Sunday show is going to be like, it's going to do crowd work. You've seen the Matt Rife and the Nate Jackson. So they're going to do a lot of crowd work, then they get into jokes. So I'm going to hopefully do that. Do a lot of crowd work, do a couple of jokes, and then move on. But then I don't want to do my whole set every single Sunday. So,
If you see redheads in the crowd, typically we are very, very cool with y'all making fun of us.
that's hilarious.
Um, and so like you can talk about ginger phobia, us not having souls, becoming vampires when we die. The English gave us both our nicknames that rhyme that neither one of us really like, if you know what I mean. If you get what I'm throwing down there. So we got our names from the same people. There's a lot of jokes that you can be made. And honestly, the women that hit on me the most are all black ladies. For some
Really?
reason,
Really?
black women love the red hair.
That's
Don't know
interesting.
why. Don't know why. Even on TikTok, if you go to Ginger Filter on TikTok, it is all black women.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, wait, how are y'all going to throw my hair color on you and then yell at everybody for messing with y'all's hair?
Well, you got a
No,
point.
I'm
I
like,
never
y'all
thought
burn the
about it.
right. Y'all burn the right. Y'all burn the right. Use that filter. If anybody understand, yeah, like, yeah, it's like the blonde down the street. If you use the ginger filter after your ancestors kicked us off our land, you ain't allowed. But sister lady, she's
Sister
seen a
lady.
thing or two. She allowed to use it because she's walking in worse shoes than we did.
That's
I saw
hilarious.
King's wife marching in high heels. Nah, they get to do what they want.
That's funny.
That's crazy that those women in the civil rights movement, they marched in high heels.
Well, you got to think about this. I
Woo.
just thought about this. Crap. Malcolm X had red hair when he first started. I guess it started to get blacker as he got older, but it was reddish brown hair.
Yep.
So there you go. So
Yep.
every time you got a black girl talk to you, fight the power.
Just show 'em my great grandma. My great great grandma.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's true. And then albinoism,
Yeah.
when affecting African people, makes them ginger.
Oh, really?
Yep, every time. So like
You have
I
ginger
always just
fats
tell
over there.
people, all of us Scots, we just albinos.
Are you a big drinker? That's the question.
Used to be.
Okay.
I was too big of a drinker. I liked it too much. And a fifth a day was going down the hatch.
Oh, wow.
And so I hit like 300 pounds. Blood pressure was off the charts. Nearly had a heart attack. Um, did the detox. Um, Actually, I used THC to detox because it stopped a lot of the symptoms. I was in full vertigo, stuck to the bathroom floor, puking my guts out. It was horrible, horrible. I was begging for death. And then someone brought over THC and it popped me right up. Vertigo was fixed. I could eat, I could drink, like not
Yeah.
drink alcohol, drink water. Um, the rest of the detox was smooth sailing. Um,
Huh.
oh, dude, it saved my life. I think I would have probably had a heart attack. I could not, I was on the floor for 3 days in the exact same spot. Bathroom floor, not a bed, tiled bathroom floor. I couldn't lift my head up.
I
Um,
haven't made to that point yet.
you don't
But
want to.
yeah.
You don't want to.
Well, see, my thing
Um,
is, I'm more or less a weekend drinker. So Fridays and
See, and that's
Saturdays,
fine. You won't
that's when I
ever
drink.
reach that. And I can now, the only time I allow myself to drink, like, is if I have a buddy visiting.
Yeah.
Um, I will have a beer at a restaurant. I won't touch bourbon.
Oh, really?
Um, but I'll have a beer at a restaurant. Um, but I won't bring any home, like no alcohol at home because I will drink it. Um, and when I go to Kentucky, I always get some moonshine.
Do you feel like you have an addictive personality?
Oh yeah,
Oh, really? Huh.
oh yeah,
Well, I guess I don't have addictive personality. I'm more or less take it or leave it. So yeah, I do drink.
yeah.
I do drink on the weekends, but on the weekdays, even if it's in my house, I don't drink it. I feel like I'm more
See,
of a social person. So when there's people
I
around,
wish I was that way.
not that I'm nervous to talk to people, it's just I feel a little bit more comfortable. So I'm like, all right, let's have a drink and socialize. I tend to
And
talk
maybe,
more and but listen more when I'm not drinking. So when people say, "All right, I got something to talk about. Let's go talk."
yeah,
But there you
yeah,
go.
and maybe I will where I was where I was a pastor. I was always having people constantly talk. And so it really, and I didn't know I had autism back then. I thought I just had ADHD. But what was happening is the autism was causing my brain having to interact so much
Yeah.
all the time was causing my brain to like just melt down. And so the drinking masked that. And so it was like, all right, like I'm just gonna use it like it's medicine. Like this is what the old timers did. And before I knew it, like, you don't know you have a problem until you got one. And so, I used THC to stop, to go through the detox. I relapsed once, but not to that degree.
Okay.
And then I used the THC to detox again, and then I use it to stay off of it. And it helps me not stim. So if I don't know if you've seen other autistic people, but they're always like moving their hands and messing with their hair and bouncing and twitching or rubbing their foreheads. The THC stops me from doing that. Um, it allows me to relax enough that like um, I can just kind of be normal.
Yeah.
And so like I smoked before I was on here. Like um, it doesn't have it doesn't have that effect where you're like, oh, Tommy Chong. Like that's not real.
Are you more of a
Um,
smoker or gummies or edibles? Or
I
how do,
use a vape pen,
okay.
so I don't use the traditional flower, because of the smell.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want the whole neighborhood knowing I'm sitting here smoking. And I don't want my kids to know that I'm sitting here smoking. Uh, but my neighbors, they smell it up enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I use just a Muameds. I get it at the Virginia Medical Dispensary. It's a 2 gram little pens about this big,
Yeah.
charges. And that's what I use. 3 puffs in the morning, 3 puffs in the afternoon.
Oh, that's it? Really?
I mean, that's what I tell
Hilarious.
people.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's
It's
my
not.
story. It's my
You
story.
sticking
I'm
to
sticking to
it.
it.
That's hilarious.
But no, it has saved my life.
That's
I'm
cool.
not gonna lie. Um, I think I would have drank myself to death. Um, because undiagnosed autism was so jacking my brain up, mixed with the ADHD and not knowing that like I was just anything to find relief from the turmoil, um, is what I would do. But
Interesting.
I never went into the opiates
Yeah.
because I saw so many people die growing up from that. Um, that yeah, I mean, yeah,
And you said you're originally from Kentucky?
yep.
Okay. So why? Okay, what brought you to where you're living at now?
Um, so I've lived kind of everywhere.
Yeah. Military or
As a
no?
pastor,
Oh,
you get moved. Or you get fired and you got to find somewhere to go.
yeah.
And so Kansas City, Alabama, Atlanta, California, Kentucky again, um, and then Virginia.
Do you like it there?
It's cool. It's too expensive.
It's
Um,
too expensive
co-
there?
Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Virginia Beach
Okay, I
is
got you.
pretty. Now, once if you get outside of Virginia Beach, it's not bad. But Virginia Beach is pretty expensive. Um, I like it though. Like the culture in Virginia Beach, like, is super cool. It's very
Any
diverse.
any comedy
Very
clubs there?
there is, there is. And I am looking it up because I have you. And also, do you know who Josh Prey is?
Yeah. Yeah, I know who that
Josh
is.
Josh Prey also asked me to try to find him a spot in Virginia Beach. And so I might be trying to put together a comedy show. Um, I might do it in front of my buddy's vape shop in like a parking lot,
Yeah.
maybe in the fall. Um, like set up some speakers and a stage and do a promotion for his shop mixed with a comedy show. Um, I think, or, find a comedy club with a booker and send him y'all stuff and see what happens.
Yeah.
But there is some comedy clubs here. Um, I haven't checked into it. I've never been to a stand-up show.
Really? Why not?
Well, I'm from Appalachia.
Uh,
We don't have them. And then I just always been a busy person or too poor to afford them.
I hear you.
And so, yeah, I've never even been to a club, man. Never been to a strip club. Never
What?
been to a dance club. Only club I have ever been to is jazz clubs.
Interesting.
Yeah, like places called like in Kansas City called the Blue Room and Jardines and like all these. Well, Kansas City's famous for jazz and blues
Yeah.
and so I've been to those, but that's like you're sitting down, you're drinking a Corona and having a cigar.
Yeah.
Like that's not club. I've never been to any of those.
We got to get you out and explore life, man. It's too much
We
out
didn't
there.
have it. That's what
I
my wife
mean, you
says.
didn't have it then, but you have it now, right?
I know. My wife's like, I need to take you to a club at least once.
Oh,
She's from, and I'm just like, I, I've just never, yeah, we never had it.
you should do it.
So, yeah, no one believes me when I say that, or they all laugh at me because,
Well, you're a
like,
church kid. You're a pastor. I mean, you
right,
religion. So that was like kind of frowned upon. So
yep.
I get it.
And we just didn't have those areas in Appalachia. Like, they don't even have porn stores. Like,
Yeah.
it's Bible Belt. You are weird if you don't believe. Even the freaking drug dealers up the creeks can give you a sermon.
The drug dealers will.
Oh yeah, dude, the meth heads, like, they'll sit for 3 days cranked out on meth talking about the Book of Revelation.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it really is. It is high quality entertainment. And so, how what's your bits? Give us some of your, like, successful bits. Like, what do you find that the different crowds respond to? Because, like, you go to one spot,
Shit.
it might be the amount of Caucasians, and you hit another spot, and it might. Comedy clubs are not always the most diverse places.
Yeah.
They're kind of like churches in a little bit. They can be very segregated.
Well, here's the thing. Comedy is universal.
It is.
So if a
So is
person,
religion.
yeah, but if a person shows up to hear comedy, you can more or less make them laugh. Now,
Yeah.
who is hard to make laugh is people who are not there for comedy. So somebody just sitting there, and all of a sudden a comedy show pops up in a regular bar or restaurant or club, and they didn't know it. Oh, those are people they hate you already. I
Because you
don't.
disrupting their dinner.
Yeah, yeah. Their silence, their dinner, their whatever. So for whatever reason, they don't like you from the beginning. But yeah, it's if they're there for comedy and they're there to laugh. Oh yeah, it's easy to make people laugh. Just hit them with a couple of one-liners and keep the show moving. And like I said, you can always do crowd work to make people laugh. I kind of do make fun of myself a lot
It feels like
because
the safest way to go.
yeah, because that way you can almost see and from my appearance or how I act or whatever, and then laugh at me or laugh with me. But then there's a lot of times where I stay away from religious jokes and politics because there's no
Oh, I go
telling
all in on that.
there's no telling how the crowd could go with those jokes. It could be haha I'm laughing with you, or they could be pissed off at you. So I
But
try to
here's the
stay away
thing:
from
make
that.
fun of all of it. Don't just make fun of one. Like, yeah, like Trump's skin's gonna match his orange suit. But at the same time, you got Joe Biden that's so old that when he farts, it smells like Bengay and cremation dust. Like,
Oh, trust me, I do have jokes about them. It's just I try to leave it off stage versus like maybe something I put on Facebook or Instagram.
I
So
can see that, especially in Nashville. Nashville can
yeah,
be,
we're part of the Bible Belt too. So it depends on
yeah.
who you are and who you're talking about.
If you're in New York, do what you want.
Like I think Trump will be the first president in handcuffs that will get reelected.
The Oval Prison.
Yeah,
It's kind of straight bars on the window. Yeah, the house. He can't leave the Oval Office without his ankle bracelet beeping. It's a
yeah,
check-in. Do you know his parole officer is a black lady?
I bet.
It is amazing. You know she didn't vote for him.
That's hilarious.
Yes, yes, it is. It is absolutely perfect. The yeah, I kind of, for me, I'm like comedy, and I feel like it's starting to come out of it, and I don't know if it's because comedians are finding the new balance of, like, that line to walk with the edginess, or people are just kind of like the crowd that loves stand-up comedy is just like, no, we ain't canceling anyone anymore. Like, stop it. Let these dudes go. Like, because you're starting to see some of that edgy stuff come back.
Yeah, like I said, if they're there for comedy, they will love it and eat it up. But if they
Yeah.
come in and they already know that they don't want to hear comedy, then it's almost impossible.
So
So
what you're saying is don't go chasing restaurants. Stick to the
yeah.
comedy clubs that you're used to.
Oh my God, was that a TLC reference? That's hilarious. But yeah,
Bro, I'm from Kentucky when I'm drinking Mountain Dew.
yeah, I love
Sponsored
that.
by Mountain No. We're not sponsored. Mountain Dew, if you
Yeah.
want to sponsor us, I'll drink it every show.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
you're from Appalachia when you break out Mountain Dew. It's
I
even
can't
named after
I
us.
can't tell what's in it. That's why I won't drink it.
Bro, I don't know how they got it that color.
Yeah,
It's the color of your wall.
yeah.
I mean, this is like, I mean, you could technically like pour this into like a plastic bag and it would be a green screen.
You're hilarious.
Like, it is, I mean, it is straight alien looking.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
But it is nothing compared to Surge.
Surge. Oh my God.
Bro, Surge was nuts.
And see, so that's my thing. I try not to drink carbonated drinks. I like during
Yeah,
the week I drink nothing but water. On the weekend, yes, I have to have Crown and Coke or whiskey and Coke of some sort. It just goes
yeah.
together very well.
I
So
drink, I drink Cokes and Mountain Dews and when I'm on a podcast
yeah,
because the sugar gives me little like hits in my head. Um, but I drink most of the time a coffee and water version.
yeah.
Coffee, water,
Now I
and
do drink
peas.
coffee, yeah. But yeah,
Bro,
I'm
I love
drinking water,
coffee.
but it just has a little fruit flavoring in it. But
You
normally
know,
it's just straight
what
water.
kind of stuff did you put in it?
This is okay. This is a different flavor, but it's a Kroger energy drink. Ta-da!
Okay,
But anyway, I have the
nice.
fruit punch in here now, but that's basically what it is.
I know there's this stuff that my wife drinks.
And I have
Celsius.
a refrigerator right here behind me that's full of nothing but just water, nothing but water.
Um, there's one called Celsius that like when you put it in your water, it makes your water dehydrate you.
Really? Dehydrate?
Yes, it takes all. It basically the pH level or whatever is
Yeah.
what hydrates you. I don't know how it works, but whatever is in water that hydrates you, like there's like if water is too stale, like it doesn't have anything in it, like it is completely purified factory water, there's no benefit to drinking it, like
Interesting.
hardly at all. Um, like actually, there was a woman in Florida who guzzled 3 of those purified bottles that don't have any minerals, like she guzzles 3 bottles of water real quick because she's super thirsty, and it killed her.
What? Why would they put something like that on
It
the shelf?
dehydrated her to the point of death.
That's crazy.
It like washed all of the nutrients and hydration out of her system, and just completely wiped her out. Um, and then, yeah, so like if you put some of the stuff in the water, it actually dehydrates you,
That's
makes it
crazy.
worse. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Um, like the minerals and stuff that's in water that makes it good for you. It's not just like it being water.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's the autism side. Did you see that? Did you see that? Just the intelligence just click over.
I hear you.
But I can't do it on command. If my teacher asked me to do it, screw him. Ain't no way. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. So how often do you do your shows? Your podcast?
Um, I between all the craziness that we've been going through, having to move and financial
Yeah.
troubles and just all that stuff, I've kind of fallen out of rhythm. but I want to get one or two up every single week.
Okay.
But I tend to at least make shorts, like, reels and things like that, at least on TikTok. And I try to get, one up a day.
Okay. So yeah, that's my, I guess you would say, weak point, because I'm a conversationalist. I like to talk to people. I like to ask questions. They ask me questions. I'll answer whatever. But I could sit and talk all day long. But for me to do one by myself, I feel like nobody just wants to watch me. They want to see me interact with somebody else. And I don't know. Maybe that's my preconception of it. But I always try to find somebody to talk to. But when it
Yeah, and
comes to
that's
just me, I'm like, I can't. I can do a TikTok, but it didn't seem interesting to me.
so. See, this is how most comedians, for instance, do TikToks. They either will turn, like a skit where they're playing multiple roles on their own,
Yeah,
or they just react to stuff and roast it. Like they just find videos of random stuff.
yeah.
They use the first 5 seconds of it, and then they make fun of it for a minute and a half. Um, and that's how they like. There's a dude, Josh Ali, does that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's pretty successful. Like he's built, I don't know, 200-300K, just reacting to people doing dumb stuff and making fun of them. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
I
it's a
gotta
good way to hone in those jokes too.
once we get off of here, I'm gonna send you some videos because I've done that before. But I
Yeah.
feel like I hate to do it when somebody else did the exact same video because the videos are out there. All I gotta do is click on any failed video, and it's out there for you to make fun of. But at the
Yes.
same time, I don't want to make fun of a video that already somebody else has already made fun of. So that's what I tried to avoid. But whatever, it's still gonna be out there anyway.
I feel like as long as you don't say the same thing,
Yeah.
um,
But once you see it, you're gonna have the same mindset. So you're gonna think
if you see a
fairly the
reaction
same. Yeah.
to it, yeah, yeah. Like if I see someone react to the video, I take it off my list.
Oh yeah, you take it off. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Typically, if I know the person, especially.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean that's one way. Those skits are another. Um, on TikTok, yeah, I kind of stick to. I don't do a lot of comedy on there. I just kind of stick to more history, Appalachia history. Where the term redneck comes from, and all that kind of stuff. How half of Appalachia, 40% of the Union that was the rednecks, that did the Cold Wars and all that kind of stuff in Appalachia. 40% of it was y'all, not us. It was y'all.
I hear you.
And that stuff's not the bluegrass comes from a black man.
Yeah.
Okay, it was born on a plantation. And then the son of a slave taught Bill Monroe how to play guitar, and now we have bluegrass. And y'all don't get credit, of course.
Yeah.
But like,
We don't get credit for a lot of stuff.
no, no, we don't. It is. I mean, that's welcome. It is. It's America. What's ours is ours, and it doesn't matter where it came from.
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus discovered this place.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't matter who was here. Don't matter that the people that he got, and whenever he walked up, the Native Americans that were here greeted the dude in English.
Oh, that's crazy.
But he discovered America. It doesn't matter who taught the dudes English. Huh?
That's funny.
It's history goes to the spoils of the winner.
That's so
It is
true.
a spoil of war.
But yeah, a lot of times it's always, I guess nowadays, who did it first on record.
Yeah.
So now, if you get on record that you did it first, yeah, you can claim that title.
Well, and that's why, everybody in your age group, and I mean everybody, and a lot of people in my age group, but when you get kind of past the 80s babies,
Yeah.
you'll start hearing more LeBron.
Oh my God.
Pre 1990, it's all MJ.
Yeah.
and that's because of when it hit and when it impressed in our minds, and all of that stuff. There's like this perfect storm of stuff back then.
True. Like I said, my family's originally from southern Mississippi. So I'm talking the dirt hills of southern Mississippi. But in the 70s, when they wanted better jobs, they went up north. And up north was Chicago and Detroit. So I got a lot of family up there. So I was born in Chicago, but more or less I was raised in Nashville because my parents thought we were somewhere between southern Mississippi and Chicago, and that was Nashville, Tennessee. So I was born in Chicago, but yeah, most of my life has been in Nashville.
Now looking back, was that the best choice?
Eh, it's okay if I go back home. Well, I guess like family home to southern Mississippi, I talk so northern. But if I go to Chicago, they said, "Oh my God, you're so country." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
So I'm a little
Yep.
bit of both. Chicago is too big for me, whereas Mississippi is too country for me. So even though Nashville is growing by leaps and bounds, but still, I feel like this is more or less home now.
Yeah. That
Long,
makes sense.
yeah, as long as you
And
don't go downtown for the tourist traps and that type
Church
of
Street.
thing. Yeah. So
Stay off Church Street.
there you go. So yeah, have you been to Nashville?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
I
yeah.
bet it's been Nashville a lot. Um, yeah. Church Street. That's the one to avoid. That
Oh
little
yeah.
area right there. Just keep going.
Broadway, Second, Third Avenue,
Yeah.
Fourth Avenue, all that. It's just crazy now. Everybody has to have
Yeah.
a rooftop bar nowadays. It's just crazy.
Yeah. It's definitely changing and changed, and it's not it. It's Yankee Town, Southern City, Yankee Town.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of wannabe, and I don't mean Yankees as in Northerners. I mean Yankees as in non-country folk. Um, like there's a bunch of people going there trying to be country.
Oh yeah.
They ain't real cowboys and cowgirls in Nashville.
Not
Most
at
people
all.
there singing with country accent is from like the Dakotas. They ain't country. It's like Larry the Cable Guy. Dude's from Minnesota.
I remember when I first found out that that's not really how he talks. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, dude, that he pulls it off perfectly though.
He pulls it off perfectly, but I was like, you snake.
That's hilarious.
Culture appropriation. He's stealing our stuff in the South.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
what do you find working though? Like right now, out on the comedic trail, like what's getting some of the stuff that's getting the best reactions?
Like I said, it's always good to make fun of yourself because everybody always going to laugh at that because you're not hurting nobody and they're not pissed off at you for doing it. Second, you always got to find at least one thing that's in the in the multimedia or whatever that everybody's paying attention to. Whatever, I try, like I said, I still try to stay away from Trump and religion, but still, there's something in the news, something going on with the Kardashians or Kanye West or somebody doing something stupid.
Could
Or
you explain the Drake and Kendrick beef to white people?
nah, nope, and I'm not trying to either. You listen to it and say, "All right, I get what they're talking about," and then like I'm not gonna explain it because if you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know.
What I know is that Kendrick won.
Yeah,
Not Like Us is still sitting at the top of the iTunes charts.
that's
And Drake was
hilarious.
like, "Oh, we fed all that to him. It's all false information." Really? That's what you wanted him to sit there and tell everybody about you? Is that's what you the undercover Diddy? Like that's the information you wanted
Yeah,
him to go with, bro? No. No, you didn't. No, 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 no. You don't tell people that you like underage people to get them to dish you with it. What you
uh,
doing, Drake? You ain't
yeah,
nobody buying that.
and that's another joke I'm working on is Diddy. Oh, Diddy's in the news now. So my thing is, everybody know who Diddy is, but did Diddy do it? Did Diddy didn't do it? Did he diddle him or did he didn't diddle him?
Oh,
Ah, oh
did
yeah.
it.
Did he diddle or did he didn't diddle?
When you have, and especially in black culture, for instance, when you have a good 30 to 40 black people that's been to your parties who then tell other black people leave early, you did it. You are guilty. And that's all they're saying. They're not telling you why. They're, hey, leave early. Don't go to the rooms. Oh, man. I've knocked everything off.
Oh my goodness.
Um, leave early. Don't go into the rooms. And that's all they're telling you. You know he's guilty.
Well, look, my
And
thing
then
is,
he's out of country. Where'd he go?
here's what I tell people. Let's say, for example, we had millions, billions almost. What would you do differently sexually, or what would you make your fantasies come true? Because there's a lot
I'm
of
too
people that
boring.
was like, nah. A lot of people like once money, more problems. He said it.
I mean,
So
it's true.
there's no
But
telling
I
what you would
just,
get into.
I don't know. I feel like you only get those kind of problems if you want 'em. My wife's Arab. I ain't, I ain't trying to die. Ain't nothing changing. That's her money. I don't know. I don't know what nobody's talking about. We didn't sign no prenup. There ain't nothing like that.
But yeah,
I'm trying to live.
but if money's
I'm
not
trying
an
to live.
issue, there's no telling what you would do.
I don't know. I I think being
You,
an
you,
autistic ADHD person, I don't think I would do much.
oh come on. Everybody wants to
I'm
step
too
out
boring.
outside the line at some point. It's just how far do you want to step until you come back to reality?
I would be one of those crazy people who disappear in the woods
Yeah, you'd
and
be
build.
a millionaire disappears.
Yeah, I would
When
build the
the
most insane underground, above ground log cabin ever, somewhere in the middle of the woods, and just podcast from there.
That's hilarious.
Like I don't know. There's nothing. I'll say this: there's nothing in those type of lifestyles that I've ever been able to relate to, or ever been able to even want. I know too many people who live on the side of a mountain in shacks
Yeah.
to go nuts. So, like, the first thing I would do is plug millions into Appalachia. Like, that's all I would do. I wouldn't change my. I just couldn't. I know too many people that
You're
are.
very unique.
I just know too many people. Well, I listen to Tupac. Like, he was my primary influence growing up. My
Because
age, like,
he wasn't from Appalachia.
no, he wasn't from Appalachia, but he had a very similar upbringing. Like, he drug wars, all that we had in people. Think Appalachian, they think hillbillies and all that. It is wild out there.
You
It
ever
is the
seen
white ghetto.
what is the documentary? I forgot the name of it. Something about the whites of Virginia or something like that. Oh, what is that title
Hatfield
called?
McCoys.
No, Oh, I
Uh,
gotta look it up. The Wild World of Whites. I don't know.
yeah, it might be Appalachian culture, wild
Yeah,
world of whites. Yeah, it's not. It's very similar. That's why I related so much to him, and like that was his message.
oh
And
yes, the
so
Wild and Wonderful Whites. You ever heard of that?
no, but I
Oh, you
want
gotta
to.
look it up.
Oh, I definitely want to. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. If you can, you gotta watch that. That is a crazy documentary.
Yeah,
I don't even know where you can watch it at, but still,
it's got to be on YouTube.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. The trailer is. I just looked up the trailer. The trailer's on YouTube, but yeah, Yeah, it's eye opening. I tell you that. You probably know half the people in this show.
Probably.
But yeah, quite interesting. You always look at another side of the lifestyle and look at, okay, I didn't think about that before. I didn't know that was
Oh yeah.
existing in the same world that I live in. So yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If you make money, and you would definitely travel more. So if you travel more, you explore more. Then you find
Yeah.
out different lifestyles, different what people are into or not into. Then you're like, all right, well, let me give that a taste or give that a try.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Exactly.
just
And when I
thoughts.
was a kid, the music that was exploding, yeah, you had your grunge stuff, but I didn't like the grunge music. I was never a Nirvana fan. I was never, um, I just didn't like that type of. I felt like the guitar didn't match the vocals, and the vocals didn't match the drums. I just never was a fan of that style of music. And then, one day all of a sudden I hear NWA.
That
And
changed your whole life.
I'm like, hold up, they're speaking my existence here. Yo, hold up. And then pop, and I start discovering rap, and then Eminem blows in '99, and I'm in
Yeah.
I'm in high school in '50, and Dre comes back, and it's like it was just like that was my influence, and so I kind of have that same mentality of like, nah, if I hit big, like if my podcast becomes, the educated version of Joe Rogan, um,
You can learn a lot on Joe Rogan.
a lot of nonsense. You can learn a lot about fighting. His history stuff, I have not heard one accurate history episode from Joe Rogan. I have a
Really?
history degree.
What
Um,
about when Neil deGrasse Tyson is on there? He's
okay,
always
I
spitting
take that
facts.
back. I take that back. Neil, and then he had Brian. Brian Cox. On He's had a few guys like that, but lately, Graham Hancock and all those guys, oh, they're buffoons.
What I have to say I really do like about Joe Rogan is that every guest is going to be completely different from the last guest.
And that's what I want.
Because yeah, it's
He
not
does
going to
that
be
so well.
yeah, it's not going to be all MMA fighters. It's not going to be all
No,
comedians, which he knows those lifestyles, that world. But at the same time, there's no telling who he's going to have on there,
right.
and that's what I really like about his show.
I do too. And Joe does a really, and I take shots at Joe Rogan because I'm a history student, and Graham Hancock. I like if I would love to slap Graham Hancock. Um, there's no one that makes me more angry. Like we know how the pyramids were built. Stop it. We've known for decades. Um,
So wait, so
like
what do you say? Aliens or humans?
oh, it's humans.
Okay.
It was y'all. What are you talking about? It's Africa.
That's hilarious.
They have the boats, they have the tools, they have the levees, they know where the river that ran beside the pyramids were that they used to get the seaweed up that made everything smooth and slidable. Like, they have all of the information. They have the tools that drilled the holes and made the cuts. They know the rock quarry where they got the stones from. They have the boats that they floated them down the rivers on. Like, this is not a out for debate. This is problem solved.
That's great.
And so when they come on there, that's the stuff where I'm like, we're too educated for this in 2024.
That's hilarious.
But apparently we're not. Um, but other than that, Joe Rogan, the talent that it takes to be able to hold those kind of conversations, to be able to sit in front of Neil and then a
Yeah.
complete moron like Alex Jones. Um, like, uh, it takes real talent. Like, and you've seen him lose his cool on a few people, but for the most part, like, dude does really, like, he does really good. Um, and he's something that you can model your cast after. I want that. I don't want to be predictable. I don't want to be the history guy. I don't want to be the comedy guy. I don't want to be Yeah, I want to be all in one.
Yeah, I can see,
NBA, NFL, comedians.
I can see that.
So absolutely. And so yeah. As soon as the comedian game is such an interesting place because cancel culture and all that really held it down for so long. And I feel like people are finding their groove again. Like,
Well,
did you watch the roast of Tom Brady?
oh hell yeah, that 3 hour long thing.
Bro, they let it fly.
Yeah, it was crazy. I like it that alcohol was involved. So
Makes it easier.
man, Gronkowski, man, he was lit. He was smashing shot glasses and everything. It was
Oh, Robert
hilarious.
Kraft was slurring his words like crazy.
Oh yeah. So
He's holding on to the podium. Well, let's cheer, Bill.
so yeah, that whole thing was hilarious. But you can tell the comedians that they really worked on the material and they knew their research and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But when it came to like the athletes, yeah, that was all written material, which is cool. I mean, it goes
yeah.
either way. You can have a writer, you can have do it by yourself, but still, it was a good roast
It
to be.
was. It was. It was. I think that's my favorite thing to watch is roast. Um, it's just funny. I mean, it's like that is the ultimate comedy to me is when you get the audience interaction and like you get to see everybody just get it. It's so great. Um, that to me, I'm like when with that coming back, the way we're seeing it come back, I'm like comedy's in a good place right now.
Yeah, I think it personally happened when COVID hit. I don't know why it correlates with that, but I just think it happens then. But
It
now
was a
it's
reset.
yeah. So now I think it's doing fine. Like I said, it all depends on where you go and who's doing it. Um, like I said, a person never wants to be too offensive that you insult the crowd or their intelligence, but
Right,
just have fun with it. It's all about
right.
having fun. As a comedian, your job is to make people laugh. If they're laughing, your job is done. But if you're not laughing, then you got to rearrange or do something different because that's your ultimate goal, just to make people laugh.
Right. Right. And so what's the best reaction you have gotten? What's the joke? What's the plug where everybody was
Well,
like, "Oh,
here's the thing: if you, if you can make a black person get up and run somewhere, that's the idea. So black people when they laugh, they hit people next to them. They fall on the
yes.
floor. It's like going to a Southern Baptist church. They gonna go rolling in the aisles. So that's your ultimate goal. But as long as you can get people to laugh or clap, because white people clap, black people they hearty laugh.
Yes."
When you got a good punchline and a setup and a punchline that works well, yeah, white people will clap their ass off and laugh, but they'll clap, which is kind of weird to get used to, but it happens. But yeah, it's interesting.
That's funny.
I can tell you one of my favorite stories to tell is like, oh man, because everybody wants to know when the time have you bombed before. I went to an all black college, well, mostly black. I can't say all black, but mostly black college. And man, it's like doing the Apollo. If you don't hit them hard and fast, you're not gonna get the crowd at all. And I was used to doing, I guess, white audiences and people who are ready to laugh. Man, these black kids didn't care one bit. They was on me as soon as I hit the stage.
Oh
So
no.
that was a bad situation. But since then, I was in my beginning stages of comedy.
Yeah.
But then since then, I was like, okay, I got this. I can make people laugh now. So it's a it's an art form that you always have to constantly improve on. So you can't go out there and tell a knock knock joke and be funny. You got to go out there and tell it, and then tell it several different ways. Then tell it to a
Yeah.
different audience in a different way. So it's not all the exact same laid out floor plan. It's going to change. It's going to evolve. It's going to be different. Because the average comedian will go on tour for like a year to fine tune what they're working on.
And that's what I was about to say. Is like I hear like every 15 minutes takes 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, 3 to 6 months. It'll take a good 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell that joke, but then you have to sometimes reword the joke, or if you know you got something there, it's the way you tell it, or how you tell it, how interactive you are, how expressive you are, or you can just deadpan it and tell it and it'd be funny. So it just depends.
Right. Right now, who's your
Influences.
goats? Who's your
Well, see,
goats?
here's how I answer that question. Anybody who can get on stage and make me laugh, I'm a fan of. Now, when you say influences, yeah, I guess you can say Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, George Carlin. Those are some of the greats. But then I listen to, nowadays I listen to everybody. Well, when it's Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams, uh, Chris Tucker back in the day. So I listen to anybody and everybody. Earthquake and uh,
Yeah.
you name it.
Is Eddie
So
the goat?
I,
Is Eddie
every
Murphy? Is he the goat?
everybody has their own different way of
It's an
doing
opinion
things.
piece.
Yeah. So I grew up on Richard Pryor, and Richard Pryor was the GOAT for me. Then Eddie
Right.
Murphy came along, and he had just a younger aspect, and he was a better actor. So
Boy, he set the world on fire.
yeah. So then you got people like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's been killing it for years, and it don't matter if he's doing a TV show or
30,
not doing a TV
what,
show.
about
He's
30
still,
years now?
yeah, he's still killing it. So Kevin Hart, who's like one of the hardest working men in Hollywood, is just you're surprised at how much he can do and the versatility of his comedic act. So, but yeah, from him roasting, hosting the roast show, movies, and everything else, it's just that dude is on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so many out there that you have to respect what they do and how they getting money. So, man, I love Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, the whole Wayne's family. I mean, and you just got to keep their head on a swivel when it comes to so many people out there doing
Bro,
it.
the Waynes were
That when that
that's
in,
it.
when that in Living
In
Color
Living
came out,
Color? Oh my God. Saturday Night Live, you will never match them. They are
I,
the goats.
I still say in Living Color
Fire
and
Marshal Bill Homie the
yeah,
Clown. Homie don't play that.
yeah. So in Living Color and Mad TV have always been
Yep.
better than Saturday Night Live. Not to say Saturday Night Live
Facts.
hasn't been good, but they was
But
something
it ain't,
about those shows that was like
bro.
unmatched.
In Living Color, even you go back and watch it today,
Yeah.
and you will die. Jamie Foxx, the Wayans brothers, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my lord. What's the little skinny dude's name?
Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson.
It was a point in time that every time he came to Nashville, I had to go see him because I knew he would
Right, he
bring it
was.
every single time.
His stand up is massively overlooked.
Yeah.
Like, I know people, they consider him a comedian and a funny guy, but he's better than his notoriety.
Yeah.
I will say that. I mean, he got good notoriety, but he's better than his notoriety.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, anybody who can go out on stage and make people laugh, I give them respect because, again, you've seen it. It's not an easy thing to do. Um,
Mm-mm.
so yeah, first you gotta take balls to get on stage, and then once you get on stage, now you gotta control the audience. 'Cause it can go left or right either way you do it.
I don't think I would struggle with getting on stage because, I've done that part so much. It is the material. Like, I know how hard it is to get that material. And from an educational standpoint, from a lecture standpoint. So it's going to be even harder to do that from a comedic standpoint.
And like I said, I've always been a fan, so I know, like, depends on the audience. Every 30 seconds, maybe less than that, 20 seconds, you're supposed to be getting a laugh.
Yeah.
So it all depends on your delivery, what your material is, and also the audience. So it could be a laid back audience one day. It could be somebody who you really got to make laugh the next day. So some
I
people
mean,
are,
and I could make fun of myself being a ginger all day long. Like, you throw in the South Park episodes,
oh my
talk about
God.
Ed Sheridan. It's just like, you're good.
I love it. I love it.
It's funny. So how did you meet some of these celebrities? Is it comedy shows
Mostly
and
comedy
like
shows, yeah.
just getting to mingle and learn and pick the brain?
Yep, yep. Let's say for example, yeah, I'm a comedian in Nashville, so every time a comedian would travel to come to Nashville, of course I'd pay my ticket to go see him. But at the
Hmm.
same time, since I know the club owners and stuff like that, I can get to go backstage and sit and talk to them for a while, or just to shoot the breeze because they always want to know what the local thing is in Nashville or local thing going on in your city. So you just gotta sit there and chill with them. And so yeah, I've met Kevin Hart, I've met Ralphie May when he was alive. Tracy Morgan came through Nashville a couple of times. So Reddy Grant. It's just you name it. If it's a celebrity comes through Nashville, I try to go see them. Um,
And what's that been like? Like, are they cracking the whole time you're there? Like, is it just jokes or is it more, more serious, or do
it
they like throw stuff at you to see how you're going to react as a local?
it depends on who they are. A lot of times they just want to, comedy is a job. So
Right,
when they on
exactly.
stage, yeah, they're working. But when they get off the stage, sometimes they'll crack some jokes with you. They'll make you laugh. But most time it's hey, let's bring it down a notch. I'm off stage. Let's relax, have a drink or two, or whatever that may be, and they just want to chill for the rest of the night. Or they could be getting ready for their second show or whatever it could be. So it all depends on the person. Everybody's different. Everybody have their own thing, their likes and dislikes. Some people, hey, go get the latest cuisine that's in Nashville or whatever. Nashville hot chicken. They want to try that. So it all depends on the comedian.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And have you had any fun interactions with any of them? Like, um, I don't know. Like, what was Steve-O like? I mean, I know he had to.
Steve-O,
Uh,
Steve-O does his thing.
my boy's crazy.
Yeah, he does his thing. He don't drink anymore, so he does his thing where
No.
he, I can't remember, he lays on his back and takes a shot glass of, I don't know if it's water or whatever. It's not alcohol, but he almost does a back flip, but keeping a cup completely filled and then drinks it at the end of it, but without touching with his hands. So I thought that was unique. I'm like, this dude is just crazy. It's like,
Such a random talent.
well, yeah,
That's funny.
some people have the talent to do anything, and they find somebody to pay for them to see it do it, but they'll do it.
Yep. And that's the hardest thing about it all
He
is
squirted lemon
it,
juice in his eye. I'm like, okay, we came to see that. All right, let's go.
I mean, what do you expect? He's Jackass.
Yeah,
What do you expect? That's what.
he
Yeah,
could.
they've done some stuff.
He couldn't do anything fire related. He couldn't light his asshole on fire, but whatever. I'm like, but anything he could do, he was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do this on stage. All right, we're here for it.
And now doing that when you're whacked out on speed and cocaine and acid and alcohol and 40 million types of pills. Like, all right, I understand you're out your mind.
Yeah,
But to do it sober,
yeah. There's something in his brain
it's
that says, hey, I got to do something unique and stand out from the next person, which I'm okay with. As long as you
yeah.
stand out from everybody else, you got to do something.
I mean, it's like mankind. Hey, we got this Hell in the Cell coming up. I got a great idea. I want you to throw me 30 feet onto a table. What is wrong with you?
That's hilarious.
Wait, what? Like, there's that is just a different way of thinking, and I feel like that's how Steve-O thinks, and Johnny Knoxville and all those guys. It's like, yeah, they'd be okay with you throwing them off the top of that cage too. Like, they would do that.
Oh, that's hilarious. See, my thing is, there's some people who are into pain and some people who are not into pain, and I think
I'm not.
all those guys are definitely into pain.
There's something messed up in your head if you're into pain.
They don't have to get spanked, but they're finding other ways to get to receive that adrenaline rush of pain. So I'm like, okay, go for it. Whatever makes you happy.
Not for me. I'm not. First off, my my limit is I am never drinking a live goldfish. I'm not even doing raw eggs. Like we ain't doing none of that.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, like that. I just. I mean, I don't know. We grow up in the country. You do dumb stuff. You jump bikes. You build stuff. You blow stuff up. You shoot things you're not supposed to. You do all that. But
Of
Jackass
course.
was a whole nother level.
And we all watched it. I don't know why, but we all watched it.
We loved it. I mean, why wouldn't you watch like somebody? There's a good chance this person's going to die. They're shooting them out of a cannon towards a pile of boxes. Let's see.
That's hilarious.
And those dudes got like their bodies got destroyed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy. And uh, yeah, that was good times though. It was they entertained us. That's for sure. And then Steve-O was on a whole new journey.
Oh yeah.
He's got his own cast and like he's doing his own things now. Um, he is a different dude now that he's clean.
Yeah. But like I said, I rather him get clean and enjoy life than to
Yeah,
go through all the headache that he went through before.
yeah. And same with that Bam dude. I think
Bam
he's clean now
Majera,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So like I said,
And
man, the more money you make, the more problems you get. So they were making money being silly. So
yeah,
the
but
more money they made, the more craziness they got.
to be that silly, you already had problems. Like this isn't dudes that had it all together and got rich. These are dudes that were okay with getting shot out of a cannon, getting stuff rammed up their hind ends, connecting things to their testicles, and like putting a beehive over their head. Like these were not normal individuals. Can we just? They weren't well adjusted humans here. Like it's,
But it made them rich. It made them
it
money.
did. It did. And Fear Factor made Joe Rogan rich. Which was pretty close to the same thing.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
I got an idea. Like, let's put all these humans in piranha tanks and see what happens. Who's in? Joe Rogan is now rich.
Well, yeah, there has to be a producer and writers behind that show. They're getting rich too.
Yep. They are. Everybody is. Not necessarily the contestants.
Yeah,
They normally don't get rich.
awesome.
So, what do you have? What do you have coming down the pipe?
Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. I try to book a month or two out. I know I should do more than that, but whatever. I did a show this past Friday at a place called Punk Walk, which is a sushi place, which is a cool sushi place. And so as soon as, it was my first time doing it there. Excuse me. So they was like, okay, we want you to have you back. We want to have your show back. Because it's not just me when I do comedy. I bring in other comedians with me. And so they're like, okay, yeah, we like what you do. I host this show. I bring on other comedians, crack a few jokes, bring on more comedians, crack a couple more jokes, more comedians. So it's a good 2 hour show. Sometimes about an hour, hour 30 minutes. Sometimes it's 2 hours. So, but it's about 2 hour show. So I'm gonna be back there June 28th and July 26th. So it's going to be both on a Friday. That's going to be great. The owner loved it, had a great time. His son was there. The employees all loved it. They said, man, this is by far a good show. Best one they had in there. So we're going to go back and do that. Then every Sunday I'll be open up for Spasmatics again, which is great. And then I want to say every first Sunday of the month from 1 to 3, I got a comedy show going on at Wicked Ollie's. Wicked Ollie's is a vintage store in Nashville, Tennessee. So
No.
even if you just come check out this store, I got a lot of great stuff in it. But in the corner, they have a little stage set up, a little, microphone and speakers, and we just do comedy in there just to make people laugh. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff in the fire. So and then I'm working on a couple of more other shows, but yeah, it's all having fun, getting
Very
paid.
cool. The getting paid part.
Yeah,
The getting paid part. That's what we're all trying to do.
of course.
Otherwise, nothing works. Otherwise, nothing works.
Yeah.
There's no famous person who didn't do it for the money.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Money,
why'd you get into this work? Money.
money, notoriety. Yeah, a lot of everything. So
Yep.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, have anything you want to leave us with? Any any fun any fun stories? Anything you want to drop down before we get off here?
I'll give you. I was going hesitant to do it, but I'm going to give you one of my famous jokes. All right. Because at first I always tell people, yes, it's better if you come see me live. Live is
Right.
always better. So you always hesitate to try jokes on a platform that everybody's going to see. But it's one of these jokes that I wrote a long time ago that I keep telling myself I want to get rid of it because yes, it is good. I do love it, but at the same time, I think I've done it too many times. So it's like, okay, move on to other things. All right, do you smoke cigarettes?
I vape.
You vape? Yeah,
I mean, I did smoke cigarettes, Marlboros, and yeah.
I used to smoke cigarettes, but I quit smoking. But if you ever think about it, non-smoking products sound racist to me. You ever thought about that? Nicorettes sound like a short black man. Nicorette? That's like a little Gary Coleman, that little Nicorette. He's dead now. Nicoderm, that black man needs some lotion. That's a Nicoderm right there. He's dry as hell. Nicotine, he's between 12 and 20. It's a nicotine right there. 12 and 20 is a nicotine. Nicotrol, that's an ugly black man. That's an ugly Nicotrol right there. He's up under a bridge somewhere.
Oh, God.
I like telling that joke to white people. You can't tell it at work the next day.
Boy, they white people will find anywhere in the world to get that in there.
Look, it made you laugh. I'm happy. There you go. That's a good
How
one.
can you not laugh at that? And I will never retell it. I will clip it and show it, but I will never retell it. If anybody goes, you know a black joke, here's a video.
I was telling a comedian that one time. Now this is when I first started doing comedy, and I just had the Nicorette part. I was like, okay, that sounds hilarious to me. And he said, man, sometimes a joke is never finished. I said, you know what? Next time I was in a store, I looked at all the products and I said, oh my God, I could use all this stuff. So
Yeah.
I just went down the list and like, okay, how can I relate that to a black person? And every time it worked every single time. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. So punchline, setup, then the punchline, setup, punchline, it just continues to go. So
That is funny.
every single time it makes people laugh, I'll keep wanting to retire it. I'm like, I've been telling it for too long.
If it's working, it is working. I mean, and ultimately, like, I mean, and you can use that joke until you hit until you tell it in Madison Square Gardens. That joke is safe to reuse.
And like I said, everybody wants their material to be original and that they created. And so that's what I love about that particular one because I sat there and created that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been so many other ones that are like, okay, we take a premise and what somebody else may have said and like made it our own. But still, that one I've never heard anybody come close to what I've just done. Now,
No, that's the first.
yeah, wordplay is everybody does wordplay, but yeah, that one was like I guess unique to me. So
That
there you
was
go.
perfect. Oh my gosh, that slayed me. All right. Well, everyone, this is Monty Hicks. And what was the name of the show that I watched the other day?
Well,
Uh,
I just call
Hicks
it
and
okay. Buck and Hicks is one I do with Steve. Steve is
okay.
a good friend of mine. We've been doing comedy for a long time, and what he does now, I'm starting giving shout outs. What he does now is there's a tour buses who go through Nashville and they give you a tour of Nashville. A lot of times you can bring on alcohol and drink and do whatever else on the bus, but his is called the Redneck Comedy Bus Tour. So he kind of gives a comedic take on the countryside of Nashville, and it's hilarious. He's been doing it for a while. Everybody, he got people from out of town that will come see him. It's a great show. So since I've been knowing him for 20 plus years, I think, yeah, we said we got to do a podcast together. So he's just in the process of moving here lately. So once he gets everything all moved around and stuff like that, we're going to start doing our podcast again together. So the Buck and Hicks show is what we've come up. The history of Nashville, there used to be a boat called the General Jackson. Well, it's still running. But his dad
Yeah.
used to be a puppeteer on that boat. So you remember the show Hee Haw? Some people do. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Yeah, I
But
remember.
yeah, his
Eddie
dad was
Hall,
on.
Green
Yeah,
Acres. Come
his
on now.
dad was a puppeteer for Shotgun Red, and so
Okay.
so now he's doing comedy, following his dad's footsteps, I guess. So with that being said, yeah, glad to hang out with him and make people laugh, and we cut up. Buck and Hicks, yeah. But the rest of my
The
shows is
Buck and
basic,
Hicks show.
yeah. So we're just getting started on that. We did maybe 15 episodes. So we just, started up on that, and so we're going to keep that rolling. But
This
yeah.
is episode 14 or 15. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
hmm
And so, yeah, then I do a podcast with just funny, I have co-hosts, comedic friends, and comedians. So we just sit around and talk and just blah, blah, blah. We talk about anything and everything. So that's every Thursday. I shoot that at 7. But then I post it the very next day around 12 noonish. But yeah, that's what I do every Thursday.
Nice.
I got a one I'm doing that's called Inner Senior Moments. Is with an older lady that I've been knowing. To, to give you her history and background, she used to do porn. But now she lives in an assisted living home and she wants to talk about life in the assisted living home. I'm like, okay, but porn sounds better. Let's talk about that. So we've talked about that several times, and every time I do, she gets so many views and hits. She's in her 83 now, and yeah, she was doing granny porn when she's in her 40s. So I was like, now she's 83,
Oh my gosh.
and she still has fans. She still have people who are, call her up and they email me looking for her. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? So
Hey, those grandpas need OnlyFans accounts too.
so yeah. So she's awesome. She's cool to talk to. Yeah, I'm working on more podcasts because it's the way to go because you can hit more people on an internet than you do at a
Yeah.
comedy show. Which you can hit people. A lot of people on the comedy show and they'll tell other people about it. But man, hitting the internet is so many more people.
You make money. You make more money on comedy shows initially. And it's something that you need to do to build and get more comfortable. And I feel like the more that you are just in front of people in general, the better all of your content is going to be.
Well, it takes one viral clip to make you famous, but then you got to keep the content up to keep people interested.
Yo,
Because I follow a lot of people myself. I'm like, okay, this is why I follow them, but now it's all about, okay, now can they keep me entertained over and over again? Because like I say, a lot of people that TikTok is the way to go. Everybody's on TikTok and Instagram doing videos,
Yeah.
clips, and shorts. And my thing is TikTok back in the day used to be all dancing or all lip syncing. I'm like, oh, I got so tired of that. But
I didn't do it then.
if you can make me laugh, I'm definitely there for it.
Yeah,
So
TikTok has changed dramatically
yeah.
from, the dancing teenage girls to it's all short format. You know,
So I get it. It's entertainment
it's
for
everything.
some, but at the same time, it's not entertainment for me. But if you can make me laugh on a TikTok, on a 3 minute TikTok, I'm gonna pay attention to you. If I don't know,
Yeah,
I don't care if it's just your personality, or you're telling jokes, or you're doing a skit. Is whatever it is. If it can make me laugh, I'm paying attention to it.
and the best way to do that is reaction to stuff. Like for instance, there's this lady in Florida, and she's recording herself like out in the ocean. They're on their boat, and there's literally a drug bag, cocaine drop, floating in the ocean, and they're recording it. What is this? What is this? What is this thing in the middle of the ocean? Let's check it out. And I'd like stitch it, and I'm like, no, get out of there.
Yeah, once we get off the air, I'm gonna show you some of my clips, and you'll laugh at those.
Yeah,
Because yeah, like I said, I try to find ones that not everybody is using, but the ones I do find, like, they're very good. You'll love them.
yeah, and anything that you can stitch or react to and throw in "stop it, white people" is gonna get clicks. That is
True.
a trendy phrase, like "stop it, white people." Like always gets likes.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Because it's always them. You don't
Yeah,
ever see a black lady walking up to a buffalo at Yellowstone.
yeah.
It's always the descendant of an English person.
They're all y'all are very, what do you call it?
Not y'all. Y'all know ain't no gingers doing it either. Ain't none of my. No. No, no, no. It's the other Caucasians. The ones south of my land.
Y'all are very bold that y'all
They
will try
stupid.
anything once.
He's stupid. Why,
But
why are you going to pat a buffalo?
black people learn from others' mistake. So we look at you like, nope, I'm not doing that.
That's what I do. Dude, I don't stick around to get killed by stuff. Like
My
me,
friend Steve wants me to go ice fishing. Go out on the ice, drill a hole, and go fishing. I'm like, dude, no, I'm not doing that.
hell no. No, no, no.
I'm like, there's no way. There's no way I'm doing that. He
I
said, yeah,
ain't
you're gonna
even
do it.
walking on it.
You're gonna have fun. I said, no, you go out there and I'll take pictures of you out there. You have fun out there.
I ain't going ice fishing. I ain't going on a boat and going out in the ocean where I can get attacked by a killer whale. I ain't kayaking in no ocean. I ain't doing none of that. If I can catch a shark in the water, I ain't fishing there. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Thank you, TLC. Keep your behind out
Oh
the
my
salt
god,
water where stuff can eat you.
that's
No,
hilarious.
not for me. I live by the beach. I've been there twice and didn't get in.
Really?
I, Between the jellyfish and the sharks,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
nope.
see, I've been to beaches, I've been to waters, oceans, but my thing is, I'm nervous about going too far out there.
I'll go knee deep. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I had a friend die that way. The undertow took him out, and he couldn't swim back. So I'm like, yeah. Black people don't swim, so there you go.
Why is that?
I
I
don't know,
mean,
but it's true. I had somebody we had a conversation the other day. He said, is that really true? Yes, it's true. You might find the occasional Olympic swimmer. No, but on the most part, we don't swim. We'll
I
go to
don't.
a pool party and put our feet in, but no, we don't swim.
I don't know that there's ever been a black person medal in swimming in the Olympics.
I don't think so. We've got to look that up, fact check it.
I have to look that. I don't think so.
But we do some
They
track
definitely
and we'll
didn't.
do track and field in the heartbeat. We'll run our
Oh,
asses off.
basketball. Yeah, we got basketball and football and lot. Wrestling. That's all y'all know, too, unless it's Brock Lesnar and his offspring.
That's hilarious.
Mark Henry. Have you seen his kids?
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh, his son is a beast. You know Mark Henry,
yeah,
WWE World Strongest Man. Yeah, their story. There was a bus that was stuck because somebody had blocked the cars in.
yeah.
Somebody's trunk was like sticking out, and the tour bus couldn't get out of the arena. Mark Henry gets out of the bus, grabs a towel, walks over to this Lincoln Continental, picks the back end up, moves the car out of the way, gets back on the tour bus, and they pull out
That sounds about right.
to a Lincoln.
It's light work for him.
Man, yeah, and now his kids are coming up, bro. His son just signed. I forget who I think he signed with the University of Oklahoma in wrestling.
Mm,
He's going to destroy people. He's going to be a heavyweight that just mashes everybody.
I believe it.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Send me your links. I'll get that all set up. Um, I'll be editing behind me here in just a second. But we'll have a new episode up probably next week. We're going to do a special show on wrestling.
Okay.
History of wrestling. Got a few guys from the same chat, where we met. So we're coming down the pipe.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on,
Thank
and
you. Peace out.
we'll
Love,
talk
peace,
to
and
you
hair
soon.
grease.
Yeah, or hair serum. That's what my wife makes me use.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's that oil stuff. I don't know.
Yep, she's black.
It, yeah, I don't. I've never used it before in my life. First time I put that stuff on, I'm like, "What is this? WD-40? What is this?" Never seen. She come at me with cocoa butter one morning, and I said, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
Get that away from me!"
I love it.
It was funny. But anyway, man, thanks for coming on. This has been fun. You have a good one,
Thank you.
and we'll probably do it again sometime.
Yes, let me know
Well,
anytime. Anytime.
All right. Well, we will talk to you soon. As soon as I hang up, don't hang up too, because it's got to upload.
I got you.
All right.
All
So,
right.
but everybody else, you got to get out.
All
Bye.
right. Peace.
They hit